Hey everybody, let's talk absolute cell reference. So some of you might be taking math, and whenever I took math, I did not want to do factoring. So I made up this little worksheet because I'm lazy. So 64 is a number. I know it has lots of multiples or factors. Yeah, factors. I don't have them committed to memory, and I probably never will. So I made up the sheet. I'm going to highlight these two numbers, which means I want the series to continue one digit more every time. So you can see it's going to increase. And I always figure if you can get about the first 20 divisible factors, then you're probably going to get them all. So what I want to do is I want to divide 64 by each one of these numbers. So it gives me the other factor here. So to do that, I'm going to put the formula in equals 64 divided by 1. Simple enough. Hit enter. 64. Okay, great. So I should be able to take this fill handle, drag it all the way down to 20, and get all my factors. What happened? Did not work. Okay, so this is A1, B1, right? Here, A2, B2. So what is an A2? 0. 0 times 2 is 0. Computer wins. Okay, so let's fix this. What I need is an absolute cell reference to A1. An absolute cell reference means absolutely always go back to A1, no matter how you change the second number. So to do that, I use a quick key, F4 at the top of your keyboard. F4 on one key. Alright, there we go. So that puts those money signs in. It means absolutely go to A, absolutely go to cell 1, and then divide it by B1. Great. Didn't change that at all, but watch this. Now it's changed everything. So the cool thing, let me shrink this just a little bit so you can see all 20. I can go through this list now, and as I'm looking for factors, I think, oh, 2 times 32, oh, 8 times 8, oh, okay. 4 times 16, didn't remember that. And it's pretty cool. The best part about it is you can have it open while you're doing your math homework, and you can just pop in another number here, and all of the factors change for you. 16 times 2, 20 times 1.6, 4 times 8, good to know. What about 7? Seems like it's a prime. It is. Only 7 and 1, because these would be all the factors for it. What about 27? Oh, 3 times 9. Sometimes you forget those. Well, maybe you don't, but I do. Anyway, that is absolute cell reference. And so absolute cell reference is the money sign before the letter, money sign before the number. And the quick key is F4. All you have to do is have your cursor in between that cell that you want to be the absolute cell reference, and hit F4, and you are good to go. All right, moving right along, series. These are ways you can continue on in a series, right? So here's a number series, great. So it'll do one single digit. You could also highlight it, and you've got a 0 and a 3, and it'll do multiples of 3. Slick, right? You could change that. You can say, I want multiples of 6. Highlight the 2 cells that are setting the series, and then drag it down. It'll continue that series and give you all the multiples of 6. And just so you know, it works exactly the same going sideways. So you could highlight them here and go across. Same deal. All right, I'm going to see if I can clear that. Okay, so here you could have weeks. So when I was pregnant, people would always ask me, oh, how many weeks are you? And I was like, really? I'm pregnant with twins. I don't even know what day it is, let alone how many weeks pregnant. All I know is I'm miserable and I'm huge. But anyway, so I got tired of people asking me, and I created this series. So this would be like the first week of your pregnancy, and then you just scroll down, you go all the way to 40 weeks or whatever you need to know. And oh, this is a good example. So you see the number signs here and you're panicking because you're thinking, oh my God, there's something wrong. There's really not. Just click off, double click here to auto size, and all that happened was you had too many digits to fit in the width of the column. So you just widen it there. So anyway, you go down here in week 10 and week 20, and you know, like, oh, the morning sickness should end here, and I would highlight that maybe with yellow, meaning like the barfing it ends here. No, I'm kidding. Sorry for all you guys out there who are now gagging. I apologize. All right, it also works for, okay, so we did numbers and dates. It does days of the week. Very cool, right? And days of the week down. And it restarts it if you need to do that as well. January, I think it will know that that's a month. It does. Gosh, it's so smart. Same thing here. So those are series that can be very handy whenever you're making up a worksheet. Lastly, I want to show you sorting. And sorting is super slick. So you could sort by alpha, by a number value, by a date, by money. And this is actually alpha even though it's by city. So you have a couple options. You could click like that, grab that column, and say sort it A to Z. And the computer asks you, do you want to expand the selection? Because do you want to just sort this column or do you want to sort the values with it? So do you want Bob to retain his 12 whatever on this date, amount, and meridian? Or do you just want to sort this? And in this case I'm going to say yes, expand the selection. So it's going to keep everything in the row together. So Bob stayed on top with all of his data. Everybody else switched around. So that's one way to do it. Now if I don't select the column but just put the cell here, let's see what happens. Smallest to largest, largest. Let's do largest to smallest. Alright, so there it didn't ask me to expand the data because I'd only selected a cell. It just assumed that you wanted the rows to stay together. So very cool. So here's the date, and it says oldest to newest. So it knows what the value is in the row, which is kind of, or in the column, which is kind of helpful. So oldest to newest. And lastly, sometimes you want something grouped by cities, so that's handy. You can put in, like if you're doing sales stops and you wanted all your sales stops in Nampa together, or you could add a list of zip codes and sort them by zip code. So if you were traveling to do sales calls, you could hit all the same ones at the same time. Alright, that was absolute cell reference, series, and sorting in less than 8 minutes. Wow. Okay, feel free to play it over, and if I went too fast, I apologize. Play it over, pause it, practice, pause some more. Have fun.